Hey guys, it's Bub here, and in this video we're taking a look at AtomOS 25H2. This is an ISO that was recommended to me by one of you guys in the comments of my last video, so thank you to whoever commented that, and please, if you have another ISO that you want me to take a look at, please drop it in the comments of this video. We've taken a look at AtomOS in the past, however this is the latest and greatest release of AtomOS. This is based on Windows 11 25H2 as the name implies. Currently on AtomOS's website you can download either Windows 11 or Windows 10, however obviously in this video Windows 10 is end of life at this point and we only want to look here at Windows 11. Now the one thing I am noticing here is that our graphics are really messed up to the point that I cannot read anything that is on the display. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get through the installer. I'm not going to guarantee that I can. This is not a very good first impression. Again, it could be something on my side, but this is not what it's supposed to look like. What does this say? You must eject drive E before you use it. Okay. But it looks like we are installing Windows despite the fact that I can barely read what's going on my screen. So this will be a very interesting one. Alright, and here we are in the out-of-box experience. Now I'm very glad that this OS opted to include the out-of-box experience just because it makes it feel a lot more personal and a lot more clean when you get the opportunity to go through such an out-of-box experience compared to when some other ISOs just launch you straight into a script that automatically takes you into the desktop. So thank you to the AtomOS developers for including this experience. Alright, and here we are in our setup screen. So it's asking us to make a local account and not a Microsoft account, which is beautiful. I'm very glad that we were able to skip that process. Again, most ISOs that promise to be like Tiny11 or anything like that typically skip that sort of Microsoft account anyway. It's very easy to do on Windows 11, especially when you're making a custom ISO. But I'm glad that they skipped that, and I hope that all components of a Microsoft account have been removed from this ISO because that is just extra unnecessary bloat that is not necessary. I will say this is taking an oddly strange amount of time to complete. This is slower than any other ISO has ever taken to get through this stage. We've probably been here for at least 8 minutes on this screen, which doesn't give me much hope that this is actually going to complete. Alright, so what I did here was I just went ahead and rebooted the virtual machine because it was just stuck on that setup screen, and then all I did was I installed VMware Tools, and that launched us into the desktop, which I'm thankful that it did. I didn't have to fight it or make any modifications. So with that being said, let's take a look around. First things first, I don't really like a lot of custom wallpapers. I think a lot of people who make their own wallpapers, they just end up looking ugly, but I really like this wallpaper. It's simplistic, it's straight to the point. I like the font, I like the gradient, I like the colors. It is a beautiful default wallpaper that's minimalistic and really fits this operating system, so great job there. Again, I'm not a graphic designer, but it just looks very appealing to me. Before we jump in, let's take a look at the two things on the desktop, which are the post install and the README file, which we should probably take a look at the README file first. So here we can see this is the AtomOS standard 25H2 running Windows 11 Pro standard. Gives you some basic information. Not going to read through all this here, but just it's here if you want to read it. And we can see that it is not running the latest version of Notepad. I would assume that's because the newer version of Notepad probably takes up more space than the old one, but that is just an assumption. I don't know for sure. Let's go through these post-install folders. We have one that disables user account control, not a good idea from a security perspective. We have one that is a restore point, and then we have one that uninstall useless apps that just opens settings. Yeah, it just takes you here to uninstall things. It's just a shortcut. Then we have tweaks, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in here I'm not going to go through, but most of it's just registry keys that you can use to change things within the operating system. Pretty cool. Then we have tools like 7-zip, WinUtil. I don't know what this is. I'm not sure I want to know. I also don't know what this is. Device cleanup, and then we have Power Settings Explorer. I won't be running those, but they're there. Then we have some more wallpapers that by default open in the Microsoft Print or Windows Fax and Scan, whatever that was called. But let's go ahead and see. Let's open them with Windows Photo Viewer. Yep, they are very nice wallpapers. Again, not a graphic designer, but these are all very visually appealing. They just they build off Windows 11 defaults. They're pretty nice. Then lastly, we have others. So we have the installer for Microsoft Store, and then we have reverts, which are batch scripts that do something. I'm not sure what these are here for. Run this script if Valorant doesn't work. Probably something related to the anti-cheat. Yeah, it does some registry key things and changes some things related to VGC and VGK. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this taskbar here. We can see we have from the right side moving to the left, show desktop. We have our calendar. We have our volume and our network. Then we have VMware tools, Windows security, safely remove hardware, and Bluetooth devices. Coming over here, we have Outlook for Windows by default, but I made this mistake in the last video. I won't do it again. You can see that there is a little download icon right there. It kind of goes away, but next to the right of to the left rather of the logo. That means it's not on the operating system. It's pretty much strictly an advertisement, so we can just go ahead and get rid of that. Then we of course have the Microsoft Store, which is installed by default, but there was a tweak to get rid of it if it's taking up too much space. Then we have the File Explorer, which we'll take a look at in just a minute. And then we have our Start menu, which by default, the only thing here is Get Started in the recommended section, so there's nothing pinned by default. And then going into the All Apps setting, this is what I see as a minimal install of Windows. File Explorer, Get Started, the Microsoft Store system settings, Windows Backup, Windows Security. That's it. This, in my opinion, is all Windows really needs to come with. There's no need for all the additional stuff that comes with Windows 11. This is really what we need at its core. Let's go ahead and jump back into that Start menu here, or rather the File Explorer. We can see the ISO itself is 2.87 gigabytes mounted, so it's a small ISO compared to the 7 gigabytes that a Windows 11 ISO from Microsoft takes up today. That is a very gigantic ISO, and I cannot believe Windows has gotten that big. Let's take a look here at our actual disk usage. So I believe that there was a script that could compress the disk even more, but as it stands right now with VMware tools installed, we have 59.8 gig disk, and we're using 9.9 gigabytes of space, meaning that we have 49.9 gig free. Honestly, 9.9 gigs isn't that bad considering a vanilla install of Windows. The ISO itself is in the 7 gig range, so the entire install is a little bit bigger than what a normal Windows 11 ISO is. So when you think about it, we're not doing that bad. Lastly, let's go ahead and take a look in the Task Manager to see what's running here. We are using a lot of CPU, but again, yeah, it's dropping down like Windows always does. Typical Windows CPU utilization, jumping around no matter what is going on the system. And then in terms of memory, I only gave this VM 2 gigs, which is the VMware default. But out of these 2 gigs, we are using 1.1, so we do have 900 megs free, which again, we're sitting idle, so it's not great, but for Windows 11, it's not bad either. Lastly, let's go ahead into WinVer and take a look here. So we are running Windows 11 build 26200-9601, Project Atom 25H2, and then let's see, one thing that I always like to check is if Windows Update is enabled, because sometimes it's not, because Windows Update usually doesn't work with these custom mods. And as we can see here, the updates are paused until November 11th, 2050, meaning that it's not going to run updates. Now, if we click Resume Updates, then yeah, it's probably going to start back up. And I believe that there was one, oh no, there are no settings there to control Windows Update. But yep, now we're updating this ISO, which means it's either going to break or the install size is going to go drastically up. So I probably realistically shouldn't have done that, but just for the sake of testing in this virtual machine. So at a very high level, this was AtomOS 25H2. Definitely let me know what you think down in the comments below. To me, this is a very clean ISO. I like it compared to some of the ones we've taken a look at recently. It's very clean, very minimalistic, and does exactly what it was supposed to do. If you have any other ISOs you want me to take a look at, please let me know down in the comments below, as I love doing custom viewer recommended ISOs. If you like this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here, as I do all kinds of different technology videos, including device restorations. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.